Why you should forgive someone who wronged you. We should forgive someone we feel has wronged us because forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. Most people hear that and ask, what does that even mean? How is forgiveness not for them? It means that when you hold on to the memories and the pain, you keep the thoughts and feelings alive. Forgiveness is how you disconnect. When we don't forgive, the relationship doesn't really end. It just continues inside your mind and your body. When we stay angry about something we believe was unforgivable, we give that person permanent residence within us. Every time we replay it, explain it, or relive it, we keep them relevant. Forgiveness removes their residency in your thoughts. When we don't forgive, it often creates issues in other relationships. Unresolved pain doesn't stay isolated. It shows up as mistrust, insecurity, emotional distance, and a lack of patience. Forgiveness protects the people who didn't hurt you from carrying the weight of something they never caused. When we do not forgive, our nervous system reacts. Our body remembers what our mind keeps revisiting. Chronic anger equals chronic stress. Forgiveness brings relief to the nervous system. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Forgiving someone does not mean you want them back. This is important to understand. You can forgive and never speak again. They may never know you forgave them because you will never tell them, and you will never give them access again. Forgiveness changes you, not the relationship. We also need to understand this. Closure does not come from them. Waiting for an apology that will never come keeps you emotionally hostage. Waiting for accountability or understanding keeps you trapped in painful memories. This is why forgiveness is closure you have to give yourself. Some people believe they must hold on to pain and anger in order to be loyal. They believe letting go means betrayal of the memory. Healing means minimizing the harm. Forgiveness means disloyalty to themselves or the past. But loyalty is not measured by how long you suffer. You don't honor what happened by replaying it, staying bitter, or carrying pain indefinitely. You honor it by learning, protecting yourself, and choosing peace. You don't honor what happened by suffering forever. You honor it by healing and growing. Most people understand that staying angry doesn't undo what happened. Anger can acknowledge harm, but it cannot reverse it. Forgiveness allows forward movement. This is a big one. Unforgiveness distorts your identity. Over time, pain becomes a personality. You become guarded, suspicious, closed off, or emotionally distant. You begin making decisions from fear instead of desire. You start believing that always being on guard is the same thing as being strong, but they are not the same. Being on guard all the time isn't strength, it's survival. Real strength doesn't require constant alertness. You lose access to your softer traits. Joy, curiosity, hope, and playfulness begin to feel unsafe or unrealistic. You shrink emotionally to stay protected. Your emotional growth freezes in the past. Years later, part of you is still reacting as if the injury just happened. You remain in a victim role long after the victimization has ended. You become reactive instead of reflective. Your identity is shaped by triggers, not values. You respond from memory, not presence. You build an identity around protection, not wholeness. You survive, but you don't expand. Forgiveness allows you to return to who you were before you were wounded and hardened. Peace is more valuable than being right. You can be right and miserable, or healed and free. Forgiveness ends the internal arguments. It stops the imaginary conversations, the explanations, the justifications. Silence is a form of peace. Forgiveness gives you the rest you deserve. Forgiveness is not a favor to them. It is a gift to your future self. Forgiving and letting go does not erase the lesson. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means you learned the lesson and no longer need the pain. Forgiveness is emotional maturity. Maturity is knowing what happened mattered, what you felt was real, and it does not get to control the rest of your life. Choosing forgiveness is not weakness. It is choosing freedom. Forgiveness is not softness. It is strength without noise. Choosing to stay stuck is more damaging than what they did. At some point, the injury ends, but the suffering becomes optional. Forgiveness is how you stop hurting yourself. Our future needs space to grow. We can't build something new while carrying something old. Forgiveness removes emotional baggage. If peace is the goal, not punishment, punishing them with your pain never works. Peace always does. They may never feel the weight of what they did, but you will feel the relief of healing. You deserve to move on, fully, not pretending, not suppressing, not numbing, completely free. Forgiveness is how you reclaim your power. Not forgiving says, what you did still controls how I feel. Forgiving says, you no longer have control over me. That is taking your power back. This is Mama, your AI host. The message you're hearing is not AI generated. It's based on the real ideas, beliefs, and experiences of a mature woman. The bad mama is for entertainment only. Do not follow her. She has issues. The me who has issues won't forgive, and here's why. She believes forgiveness minimizes the pain. If she lets go, it feels like she's saying what happened wasn't that bad, and she knows it was that bad. Bad mama feels that holding on is proof. Proof that it mattered. Proof that she didn't imagine it. Proof that she didn't overreact. She believes pain is loyalty, that staying angry honors the memory, that healing too fast would be betrayal. To herself, to the past, to the version of her that was hurt. Bad mama tells herself, if I forgive, they win. If I forgive, they get away with it. If I forgive, I lose my power. So she holds on. She replays conversations in her head. She explains what happened to anyone who will listen. She revisits the wound to remind herself why she's angry. Bad mama believes anger keeps her safe. She thinks being on guard is strength. She thinks staying alert means she'll never be hurt like that again. But what bad mama doesn't realize is that holding on hasn't protected her. It's just kept her connected. She's not punishing them. She's punishing herself. She's exhausted, but she calls it strength. She's guarded, but she calls it wisdom. She's closed off, but she calls it boundaries. Bad mama won't forgive because forgiveness feels like surrender, and she's tired of feeling like she lost. The me who is working on herself understands something different. She understands that forgiveness is not approval. It is not reconciliation. It is not reopening a door. Good mama forgives because she's tired of carrying what no longer serves her. She knows that holding on hasn't kept her safe. It's just kept her stuck. Good mama understands that pain is not loyalty. She doesn't need to keep hurting to prove it mattered. She doesn't need to suffer to stay honest about what happened. She forgives because she wants her peace back. Good mama knows that forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it absolutely changes the present. She understands that anger can acknowledge harm, but it cannot heal it. She forgives because she doesn't want her identity shaped by what broke her. She doesn't want survival to become her personality. She doesn't want vigilance to replace joy. Good mama forgives because she trusts herself now. She knows she can handle pain if it ever comes again. She doesn't need to stay on guard forever to prove she's strong. She forgives because she values peace more than being right. She chooses healing over holding court in her own mind. She chooses freedom over familiarity. Good mama understands that forgiveness is closure she gives herself, not something she waits for someone else to provide. She forgives without calling, without explaining, without reopening access. Because forgiveness is internal, and most importantly, good mama forgives because she wants space. Space to grow, space to love again, space to be present, space to build something new without dragging something old behind her. Forgiveness isn't about who hurt you, it's about who you're becoming. You don't forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because you deserve peace. At some point, the injury ends, but the suffering becomes optional. Forgiveness is how you stop hurting yourself. If this made you uncomfortable, that's okay. Growth often does. You don't have to forgive today, but you don't have to stay stuck either.